Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Studio, and today I'm here to review Every Year After, new show on Amazon Prime, Prime Video. It's based off of a book. It's called Every Summer After, so they went ahead and changed the name, probably because they want this to be a multi-season show, although I'm kind of skeptical about whether this will get a season two or not. But I'll kind of talk about that at the end, my thoughts on that. But there will be spoilers ahead. This is not a non-spoiler review. We'll be talking about spoilers throughout. So just that disclaimer. I know some people like the non-spoilers, but I figured at this point, it's been 2 weeks since it come out. Everyone's probably watched it by now who is going to watch it. So I mean, spoilers are kind of to be expected, and they can't really be avoided at this point. But I went into this show like I didn't know much about it except there's just a lot of hype about it on X. Like Off Campus came out and everyone was talking about it. And then everyone was talking about this show on X too. And I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and check it out. Matt Cornett's in it and I recognize him as EJ. I don't really recognize any of the other actors from anything I've seen, but I mean, I'm sure they've all been in things that I just haven't watched. But yeah, EJ from High School Musical, the musical, the series, I recognize Matt from. And he's just so interesting because in some ways he's so stiff as an actor, but then he also is good with the emotional scenes too. I think the character of Sam, I think he did an okay job at. I think the cast themselves, I don't think was the issue. I thought the acting was all decent, all things considered. I don't think there was anything super captivating per se, but I thought all the actors did a good job for the material that was given. Obviously, we have our main relationship, which is Percy and Sam, and they were childhood friends, and in a lot of ways reminiscent of Belly and Conrad. And there are a lot of similarities to the Summer I Turned Pretty in this show. Not just with this relationship, but there's also the fact that it's set at a lake, which is kind of reminiscent to it's set at a beach in the Summer I Turned Pretty. You have a mom who is like a like not I mean like a mother type figure, I guess, someone who you considered yourself like a second mom to you through Belly and Susanna, and then now Percy and Sue. So there's definitely a similarity there. There's two brothers that have some sort of romantic entanglement, past or present or future, with the main character. And obviously, it's a love triangle in the Summer I Turned Pretty. It's not a love triangle here. And I think I was okay with the fact that it wasn't a love triangle. In some ways, I think I was just kind of tired of the love triangle drama after seeing so many shows recently doing it. But then on the other hand, I felt like the show was kind of stale without a love triangle. Like, to me, I felt like this show was just kind of boring. That's just my personal opinion. I didn't find myself super engaged with it. I didn't find myself wanting to see, oh my gosh, what happened next, except for the episode at the end of episode 5, when we see her saying, I have to tell you something. And then I was like, okay, I wonder what she has to tell him. But if they had just ended it with that reveal that she had slept with Charlie, then I would be much more excited to go watch the next episode. So, and I just feel like the episodes just didn't really like string together very well. It just felt like stuff was missing in between, and I just feel like there's a lot of rushed character development, and I don't know. I just personally didn't care for the show all that much, and I don't want this to be a hate review because it's not a terrible show. There are good things about it. I think they portray grief decently well with the brothers. In some ways, I think they handled the grief better than they did in the Summer I Turned Pretty. In some facets, but I think the relationship with the brothers is just very different because it's not like they're not fighting over Percy. They're not fighting over Percy, Charlie, and Sam. They're not. So that's not the main issue until obviously it comes out that Charlie and Percy slept together. Then it becomes a bit of an issue. But I looked it up because I have not read the book, disclaimer. I've been meaning to, and I do have a PDF on it, and I read the first little bit, but I just can't read off of a PDF. I need to have the physical book in front of me. I can't read on my phone or on my iPad or my laptop. It has to be a physical copy. So I'm just going to wait until it comes into the library, or maybe I'll get it, I don't know, on my own with some money. But yeah, I have not read the book, but I have looked up what are some key differences, so I had something to base off of, and I found out that a couple months after Charlie and Percy hooked up, Charlie told Sam about it. So Sam knew all these years, but Percy did not know that Sam knew. Now in the show they change it to where Sam never knew and never knew that this happened, and he is just now learning about it to add some more drama to it. But even then, I just didn't really feel like I didn't feel the stakes. I just didn't feel the drama. And I just feel like the writing just kind of fell flat, and I think it could have been so much more dramatic, but I don't know. One thing I did like is that they didn't rush a resolution with the brothers at the end. They definitely left that open ended for a season two. So I didn't like I like sorry that they didn't just rush it at the end. They left that open ended. Now the book definitely tells a different story. The book, like from what I've seen, is definitely a lot more just Percy and Sam rebuilding their relationship after everything and all of that. And the show is less about that, and it's just more about this like toxic entanglement of relationships and cheating and grief. And the grief's not a bad thing, but there's just way too much cheating or almost cheating in the show. Now, granted, I do know that in the book, uh, Percy did cheat on Charlie or on Sam with Charlie, but beyond that, there wasn't really any cheating. That was the central thing. But in this show, it's like it normalizes cheating. You have Charlie and Delilah having an affair. You have Chantal almost kissing Jordy, not quite, but almost, and then while she was with Drew, and you had Percy and Sam almost kissing while he was with Taylor. Now I know that almost kisses aren't like a huge deal, but still, it's like it just I don't know, and I just didn't feel like ooh, like I want these two to be together. I didn't feel that at all. Like I wasn't emotionally attached to any couple. I do think probably my favorite part of all of this was actually the flashbacks with Sam and Percy when they were kids, specifically when they were like young kids. I thought those were really cute, and I enjoyed seeing their relationship develop through the years. I thought I thought that was my favorite part, seeing that relationship develop. But once we got to present day, it just all went downhill from there. And I know that there's some talk, there's supposed to be some sort of toxicity with this whole thing. It's not supposed to be a healthy relationship, but they also present it as like this one true love, and I just don't see it. I mean, I think I could see them as childhood friends who have a deep affection for each other. I can believe that they loved each other, but I don't believe that it was like this one true love thing. And I don't know if it was. I think it's just hard to explain. And I think the fact that it's so toxic and how it's portrayed in present day doesn't help either. It's like with everything going on, I can't find myself wanting to root for the main couple, and that is a problem. Especially when you remove the love triangle to portray a central couple is supposed to be better, supposed to appeal to more people who are tired of the love triangle drama. But you have to have a likable main couple, and they have to have chemistry, and I thought they had okay chemistry, especially when they were kids, and like the building to their relationship, like when they were in high school and like all that. But once they got to adults, it didn't hit the same. And I think it's because there's so much angst, so much tension, but it didn't like really lead to anything satisfying. It just led to them hooking up in Sam's car and then telling her, I can't do this. And then, of course, it ended with him showing up at the end in the kitchen. And it's a parallel to the first when she says, you came home, but it didn't feel earned at all. It's like they didn't even talk about like what actually happened. It just, and if season two picks up, they're probably going to just be together because I think it's going to focus on Charlie. But I just I just feel like they handled the Sam and Percy relationship so poorly. And that's so upsetting because they are the lead couple. You're supposed to root for them. You're supposed to be engaged with them. I mean, I think Belly and Conrad were way more interesting and you could definitely root for them way more. I mean, you look at Hannah and Garrett from off campus, I was like so invested. And Dean and Allie too, from what we got teased, I was so invested. I was not invested in any couple in this show, not even Chantel and Jordy, who were like your side couple. In The Summer I Turned Pretty, you had Stephen and Taylor as the side couple, and I was so invested in them. But I did not give a shit about Chantel and Jordy. Not because I didn't think they were cute. They were cute, but I wasn't like drawn to them. Like, and it wasn't even just because she had a fiance. I didn't even care about that. It's just it felt like they were trying so hard to write like an interesting secondary relationship to like fill the plot, and it just didn't work. What also didn't work by filling the plot was introducing the character of Delilah, who apparently was barely even in the book. She was just like part of Percy's childhood, but not part of the present day plot line. They gave her a whole storyline, like a messed up marriage and affair with Charlie. It's like, and it just, but to me personally, I found Delilah one of the more interesting parts. I felt like her storyline was actually somewhat compelling. Her stuff with her husband, why she's having an affair with Charlie, and her history with Percy. What happened there? Is there something going on with her? And like, does she like Geordie? You know, and I think the ending kind of definitely shows that she does start to have some feelings for him. But personally, I feel like Delilah as a main character would be so much more compelling than Percy as a main character. And I'm not saying that because I think Sadie's a bad actress. I think she's a good actress. I just didn't find myself compelled by the Percy character, and I didn't care about the Belle's character and the Summer I Turned Pretty. So that was like, I just didn't think Belle's character is all that well written. But at least they gave her like some personality, more or less. They gave her hobbies, they gave her activities. Where here we have Percy as a writer, but it's I don't know. And I take that back. I think that's a change I like better about this, is that they gave Percy a little bit more of a like hobbies and what she wants to do and who she's inspiring to be. And that's also because these characters are supposed to be 30 or something. And I do not believe that they are 30. They do not act like they are 30. They act like they're like early 20s, college students. So where the Summer I Turned Pretty, they were teenagers. But here, these people are not teenagers. They are grown ass adults. And what are they doing? What are they doing? I felt the same way in the Summer I Turned Pretty season 3, where they're adults now, but they keep making stupid decisions over and over again. And I feel the same way about this show, except for the Summer I Turned Pretty, it was season 3. So I kind of, it was like, well, we had 2 good seasons of the show. I didn't really care about season 3. But like, this is our first season of this show. This is our launch pad. And it just wasn't very good. And I'm used to shows having a good first season and a lackluster subsequent seasons. In this show, I just think they had a lackluster first season. And you know what it really reminds me of? It reminds me of My Life with the Walter Boys. And I definitely feel like very similar about it. But at least with Walter Boys, you had the whole team thing. That was what kept people invested. They had a fan base because you were like Team Cole or Team Alex. And Danny and Aaron were a much more interesting side couple, in my opinion, than Chantel and Geordie are. So just not a fan. But My Life with the Walter Boys, I think it's more successful because of the love triangle. And then there's not a love triangle. So that in some ways that's better, but like you have to have a compelling storyline, you have to have a compelling lead couple, you have to have likable characters. I mean, the only characters I really found likable in this were Chantel and Geordie. And I mean, that's saying something. I didn't find anyone else there very likable. I thought Delilah's character was the most interesting out of everyone's, but I mean, she wasn't super likable. Not that she was supposed to be. I think she was the one character that was actually well written for the most part. Charlie is just an asshole the whole time, and then he tries to make up for it by like pretending like he's like sweet and everything. And I just got very weird vibes from him. I just didn't care for the Sam character, not because of the actors. I think the actors here are all fine. They do their job. It's just the same character. It's just like, what is so special about him? I know he's a doctor and I know he's smart and everything, but what is so special about this guy that makes Percy so into him? The love of her life. Hasn't seen him for 10 years. They weren't even together for that long. But then again, I wasn't really tracking the timeline, so it probably was longer than what I thought. But still, though, I just think this show had a lot of potential to be good. It's based off of a book that I think is pretty popular. I think a lot of people really enjoyed the book. My sister said she read the book a long time ago, and she really enjoyed it. So I don't think the book is an issue. I think it was based off of a decent book, but then you just have this show, and it just doesn't adapt very well. And I don't think it helps either that recently Off Campus came out, and that was such a successful adaptation. And I think a lot of people were just kind of comparing it to that and The Summer I Turned Pretty. And it's not really fair to compare shows, but I mean, also when you write a show that is so similar to another show, and this is, I wouldn't say this is like off campus, but it is extremely similar to The Summer I Turned Pretty in so many ways. You have to write a compelling story, and you have to make sure your writing sticks. You have to bring in the fan base. You have to make compelling stories. And in this show, just didn't do that. I think they hit on some decent stuff with grief, especially in the final episode. I thought the actors who played Sam and Charlie, they did a good job with the memorial scenes. And I like that they didn't rush a reconciliation with the brothers. But will this get a season two? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Now, one thing that apparently, from what I've read, the book doesn't really delve into Percy's relationship with Sue a whole lot, but in the show, they do give them some more scenes, but they're saved for the final episode. And I just didn't feel like the relationship, the connection between Percy and Sue in the same way that I felt it with Belly and Susanna in The Summer I Turned Pretty. It's like that one that had such a special relationship because they gave them a lot of scenes. And to be fair, we don't get to see Sue in the present day because she's already died. So we just don't really know her as a character all that well. And I don't know. That's why it's hard when you have an inciting incident kick off a thing. Like you just don't know the character very well. So like how we're with Susanna, we knew her. We had a whole season with her before she passed. And even though The Summer I Turned Pretty, like, they dealt with grief and it was hard and kind of depressing at times. They had some fun stuff. They had like the arcade day, they had a party at the house, they stay all night at the country club. They had some fun stuff, but here, besides like some like cute banter with Chantel and Jordy, there's nothing fun about this show. They don't go out and do anything fun. There's just nothing. There's like no lightheartedness. There's barely any. It's like hard to find the fun in it. There's just no lightheartedness. Everything is so serious. Everything's so toxic. It's too angsty. And yeah, so I'm like, I'm already almost 20 minutes into this. I think it's probably time I go ahead and wrap this up. Do I think this will get a season two? I think it's popular enough with viewers and everything that they probably will give it a season two because they do have another book to adapt, which is the book that focuses on Charlie. I'm pretty sure it's called One Golden Summer. And I will read both books and I might do reviews on them. We'll see. I hear people say overall the book Every Summer After is a lot better than the show. So that does make me a bit hopeful for when I do end up getting a physical copy and reading it. But I have some other books I want to read, but I do want to get to those someday. So hopefully I'll review those on the channel at some point. But let me know down below. Did you like this show? Did you think it was a good adaptation of the book? Have you read the book? If you're just kind of watching the show, do you think it's compelling, like on its own as a standalone thing? And as someone in that category, I just don't find myself compelled by it. I just find it boring and angsty, too much tension, like depressing. Yeah. So I would say watch it if you're looking for like a summer show because it's not terrible. The storylines are interesting enough. It's not unwatchable, but it's not like a rewatch either. Like I don't find myself rewatching this. I highly doubt I will. Even My Life with the Walter Boys, I could sit down and rewatch it. I found myself interested enough in it, and then here, I am not interested enough in this to rewatch it, and that goes to show you that it's just not a very good show if you can't get fans to rewatch it. Where with Off Campus, people kept rewatching and rewatching. I've only watched it once, but a lot of people love that show, and this show it just didn't hit the same. It just didn't, and it'll be okay. It's just a show that I think was overhyped, and it just didn't meet up to expectations. I think that's just kind of going to be the general consensus of this. But let me know down below what you thought of this, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone.